Hi, yes, hello. JR here, but with JR. Did you know that after spending 2020 for recovery, I declared 2021 was officially the year of highly self indulgent fanworks? I did. I'm still not on the Fargo Fiction Discord server, and I have no plans to return, but I am in other places. Sort of, depending on what layer you're on. Dart's been dead for a while now. It just won't work for me, and neither I nor PL can figure out why. Plus, my day job has me in more pure JavaScript than I've been in a while, so my future work's going back to my roots. All that to say, for Ragnarok is postponed pretty much indefinitely. Back in April, I decided to work on a new sim with a working title of Lit RPG Sim. As I progressed, it really started to remind me of the creepypasta I'd seen, and before you knew it, Zampanyo Sim was born. I wove in threads of Spurb Sim and a few other fandoms I enjoy, including Zampanyo, of course, and just about everything got thrown in there. The first act is complete, as complete as something that never ends and is not what it is could be. I've really enjoyed interacting with the Unmarked. Shout out to the Weaver, the Herald, the Scribe, the Taxonomist, and the Pioneer for their hard work collaborating with me and making branches of their own. And of course, I couldn't have made it where I am without the sacrifices of the Marked. You will be missed. The second act is about to drop, so if you want to weave your own branches in, you'd better do so soon. Zampano, after all, is famously responsive to user input. Why, JR, you ask? What do you mean, branches? I'm so glad you asked, hypothetical observer. The branches of trees, of course, of an ever spiraling fractal split of a timeline, pinching off Oxbow Lake from the Oxbow Lakes. Ragnarok might have been voided out by the wasted guide of Void, but there are other ways to see, aren't there? If the observers outside the sessions can't peer in, maybe you borrow the eyes of someone trapped inside. The universe was never meant to be this way, but that doesn't mean we can't enjoy it anyways. And on that note, with me today, I have Yearnful Node. Oyan, care to give me a ramble about what you've been working on this year in regards to my current obsession?
You're not gonna refer to me by our very trustworthy title, Invited Karen?
Well, I was going to leave that in your hands. So you can talk about what inviting Karen's done. You could talk about inverted centaur. You could talk about a wide variety of in character characters you might want to discuss.
Well, it's just staying in the recording. I don't care what you have to say about it. You took the pants down right there, and I'm just rolling with it. What up, everyone? I just got born. Let's figure this one out. Um,
Okay.
I have been mostly just in the background, as usual, doing. I've been working on a lot of art recently,
Uh-huh.
which has been hard because I cannot currently use my computer and have my tablet on at the same time
Yeah.
because I lost the cable I used to connect my Wacom, and the only one that's compatible is the one for my microphone, which means
Mhm.
that if I want to do anything, I have to go on deafened and just sit there in silence.
And Hunt Chick's room. That's what you've been working on recently, and it's been stymied by that
It's
fact.
been stymied a lot by the fact that I can't just work on it. I have to decide to work on it, basically.
Yep, you got to allocate time. Also, I just realized I called her Hunt Chick on a recording when I meant Eye Killer, of
It's
course.
okay. If you want me, I'll just put a very obnoxious filter over it that goes.
And totally up to you. Totally up to you. So that actually leads us to the next thing. Like, obviously, you've been doing art, but you've done a lot of audio work for Zampano as
I've
well.
always done
Zampano
a lot
Six.
of audio work around here.
Yeah, yes, of course you have. But I'm
I'm just
specific.
saying.
You designed the gaslight system for the music. You'll never not laugh when I call something the gaslight system.
I
You
don't think
did.
you
You did.
understand. I don't think you understand.
Uh
Will and I will not explain who Will is,
huh.
have a joke that we call that whenever someone gets taken to the gaslight room. So whenever I hear the gaslight system, I just think of that.
Oh, that's even funnier. Well, you know what? Retroactive reference. Even though I don't understand what the reference is,
I don't
retroactive.
remember what the reference was to either.
Beautiful. But yeah, you did the the subtle stuff that's wrong. You did the very wrong version of the Zampano Sim main menu music. You did pretty much, yeah, I think you did 100% of the music that can show up in the options menu. just to freak people out.
Yeah,
You
like
made it,
that's 100% of it is like literally my trash bin files.
yeah, but you threw your trash bin files in, which itself was a reference to the entire Friday Night Funkin' mod you made that we tied in. But even beyond that, in the current arc, you did all of the background music for it, including the really creepy like phone stuff. And
Yep.
you've been editing all the voice work I've been doing too.
Mm-hmm.
Not all of it. The truth pass never get
Yeah, I guess
edited.
the truth passes don't get edited, but like anything that isn't that does get edited
Uh-huh.
by me at some point.
Because you've got an ear for that. So we've talked about art, we've talked about audio. What's left? Oh, right. All of the various characters.
What about them? I rewrite them sometimes.
Well, yes,
I'm not gonna give you a progress link. Nom has upgraded at 5% more anxiety than the projected amount last year. It's been great. It's like I can't give you estimates. You're bringing it up like, oh, I can give you a solid amount.
Well, we're not just talking about the future, we're also talking about the past. So everyone has been very interested in the boy.
Everyone
Like
loves the
Nom,
boy. Everyone loves the boy.
even outside of Zampano, like he's from a variety of places and he's your character and people are just obsessed over him everywhere you put him.
I think it's just because he's so sad. Like I know people will get mad if I say that out loud, but
Yeah, you had me voice act the line about the closer claiming he was pitiable, and that caused some controversy in the Zampano Sim fandom.
opinions were had, concerns were raised.
Yep. I would say, like, yes, it's because he's sad, but it's also because he's so hopeful. Everybody wants to cheer him on.
People just want to give him a birthday balloon and like
Even though it
bake
would
him a
just,
little cake.
yep. Even though that would probably just give him more anxiety. Like, oh no, what is an appropriate, like, thank you
I
gift
think
to
he'll
give
just
him?
start crying.
Oh God, the poor boy. Like the other like a lot. Okay, so Zampano Sim. Okay, so Zampano as a whole is about like just eating other fandoms,
Yeah.
right? So Zampano Sim, we're kind of doing that with our own fandoms. So your characters are coming from somewhere we're not going to talk about unless you want to.
They can unlock them by doing the secret side quest that includes finding where all the robots are.
God no, no. The point though is that your characters are coming from a variety of places. Like we have the entire cast of For Ragnarok. We have, I'm bringing in the Wanderer, the intern, the manager, although they've only really shown up one place. Obviously, we have Truth. Like those are my contributions to the pile. The entire cast of For Ragnarok, we still haven't woven in as tightly as I want to eventually. That might be for Arc 3.
Yeah.
Because Arc 2 is more about establishing, like, the Wanderer
Arc
and
2 is
how they.
more about establishing the Wanderer and all the ways in which they suffer or inflict suffering upon this world, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, I do not. I would not trust the Wanderer with a Chia pet.
Or a pet rock.
Just do not trust the Wanderer with anything. So, going forward, obviously, so like I was saying in my little fucking speech,
Mm-hmm.
like the whole point is we're just doing shit because it's fun.
And really, that is really where it comes down to, you know?
Like you can't like self-care isn't just staying in bed, it's also deciding to get up and just do something for you and not anybody else. So self-care, yay. But I was wondering like let's just like obviously we'll be editing this, making it all pretty, etc., but let's just do a little bit of brainstorming.
Yeah, sure.
Like
You're like, if you want to do it live, you know?
do it live because people are always asking where are these ideas coming from? What the hell? I'm so confused. Let's confuse them further by giving them, like, you remember when we did the Cheeto timeline?
Ah, the Cheeto timeline. Hold on, let me bring an MS Paint file. I feel like it'll help me feel better if I bring an MS Paint file into it. And I'm not gonna show you this time because last time I'm still scared of the fact that you could just perfectly keep track of whatever I was saying. That still upsets me to this day.
Okay, but the point is, we were as upfront as possible with the Cheeto timeline. This is how our ideas work.
Yep.
And everybody went, what the fuck is this? And we're like, I don't know how I can make it more clear. This is literally the process. So I just feel like we should make things as clear as possible with regards to the story arc, right?
Yep.
So where we have right now, we're in arc 2.
Okay, we
So,
are in arc 2.
So in arc 1, it's more generic, like it hasn't coalesced yet. In arc 2, we realize that there's a reason why truth was originally referred to as observer bot, and the player, like, you aren't an observer, you're an active participant, right? The observer is someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Scarab Sim, you were the observer and the players were the players.
Yeah.
But this is very much a you are the scribe of mutton or whatever the hell. That's probably a real thing you could be assigned.
Scribe of mutton, definitely real.
You're almost as good as thief of beef. But the whole point, right, is that arc 2 coalesces. Like, it's not just that you are the player. There is a capital Y-U. And the interstitial between the two arcs is the Gopher server, where it's second person, it's you, it's the Wanderer, and that's what the arc 2 is about, is so like I'm setting the stage for us. We can edit out this as much as we possible want. But anybody who's found the Gopher server at this point, like, did you know, like, when you had the idea to work in those stopwatches, I think the longest stopwatch ever went was like 3 days.
Oh yeah.
Like, they are obsessed with wandering this endless maze for no reason.
I think it is because we gave them little rooms.
Well, yes, they did enjoy when Flower Chick rented space to them. Apocalypse Chick, FAQ writer. Hey, did you know that I don't like names?
Specifically with her, we just never choose which one it is.
We never choose a specific title for her, but even then, nobody has names.
We just kind of go like, whatever, just take all of these, and then she's like, thank you, I hate them.
Well, in my heart, she can't actually have a settled title until the closer gives her one, but the closer won't give her one until, like, they're totally dating.
Yeah.
In my heart, I ship them so strongly. That's why I wrote an entire shipping fic where that was the punchline. Okay, but, like, the whole point is you're wandering the maze infinitely for no reason. You eventually find a coffin, and the coffin promises. Like the whole time you're forgetting bits of yourself. You don't, like, you're just, like, at one point there's a mirror in the maze, right?
Yeah. People love the mirror. The bitches love the mirror.
They really do love the mirror. There's two versions. One, which has not you. Not you is a body missing its eyes. The eyes are bleeding, and it's begging you to take your own eyes out so you can escape. Like you do. Like, the only way you can get out of the maze is if you choose not to look anymore. Other mirror has you be a floating pair of eyes. And that's you. Like, very rarely does the Wanderer in the maze ever notice they have anything. Like, their legs get injured at one point. Maybe their hands get hurt. I don't remember. And there's that whole...
the squishing machine.
Yeah, the body rolling machine. But the whole point is...
the body rolling machine.
It's so deeply weird. I think there's a vent in that room, too.
Yeah, I think literally the entire point of the body rolling machine is... Wouldn't it be fucked up if you went into one of those, like, child ones and they just destroyed you?
Well,
and then at the end you get, like, 2 Gopher Gold?
I don't even think it was Gopher Gold. I think it was, like, actual currency.
Oh, yeah, I gave you currency, yeah.
Yeah. That was one of the ones you wrote.
Yeah, I did that. I'm an asshole.
You are. God, the Wanderer hates us. But the point is, the Wanderer only has body parts if you remember you have body parts. And bits of the Wanderer are being carved away voluntarily. Like, why would you need to remember the name of your parent when you could be memorizing what's inside all of these books in the room that bleeds, you know?
I love the room that bleeds.
We probably have at least one room that... And if we don't, I can add one.
The flesh room is there, you know. There's several. There's technically several flesh rooms.
Yeah.
If not, we can make a room that bleeds.
I like the pot roast room the best. Like the hydration station.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that I found a way to work even We All Hear Stories in the Dark into this stupid fandom mashup. Okay, but the point is, right? Mm-hmm. The point is, Yu makes a decision to go in the coffin.
Yeah.
The Wanderer goes in, sacrifices what's left of what they have, and in exchange, they understand how they got here. Which is a little bit anticlimactic because, like, I just told you how you got here. But the whole point is they stay in the coffin for a literally unknowable amount of time. Like, that's one of the few things Wanda doesn't know at the end. Like, the apocalypse happens, which is just a big dumb snake trying to be like, I made this universe and it doesn't do what I want. Let's shake it and see if it works better. It doesn't. It doesn't help. But now everybody's immortal and suffering, and the Wanderer eventually comes out of this terrible coffin chrysalis?
I think it definitely is like a chrysalis, you know? It's kind of like, you know...
So Wanda emerges. So Woden to Wanderer to Wanda. And she knows everything. She's got full gnosis. She understands that it's both a simulation and an echidna and a game and a world. And she can just do anything she wants. And what she wants to do is go back in time and found... What did we say it was? Aedal Games?
Gadel Games. Aedal.
Aedal Games. Like EA, but, you know.
Aedal.
Aedal Games.
It's okay, it's Italian.
It is true. It is an Italian company, but that's only because Jeppe Rovio was hitting on the CEO of McDonald's.
It is true.
So anyway, we go back in time. Publishes Zampano, moves to Italy in 1972. That, by the way, is when they were born. They can't go any further back than that.
You gotta get born first. You can't
go further back in time than you were created. So the whole point is, Eye Killer is time traveling too.
Mm-hmm. So fucking space and time players.
I know, right? Like, Zampano is sterile. Like, the echidna is sterile. It is not meant to be. It's a dead end. It's actually a doomed timeline. For Ragnarok canonically ends a different way. But, you know, spiraling timelines.
Yeah.
So the whole point is, there can't be a space and a time player. It's not Spurb anymore. It's mutated too much. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, yeah, no. And Hunt Chick time.
Like, there can't possibly be one, but also absolutely.
Yeah, it is not what it is. This is important. So yeah, like, all of the other characters in the Moon Maze Madness saga are... And here's another thing. It's also canonically a single-player game. Player of Zampano. Yep. And also, everyone in the Moon Maze Madness are their co-players.
Yep. Don't worry about it.
Just deal with it.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
So we've already brainstormed, like, we have large amounts of the arcs going, like, things are happening. Do you remember any of the loose threads we left off? Like, we know how Ronan caught the Eye Killer, for example.
Yeah, I still cannot believe we did tie that one in.
It was pretty perfect.
He was just having a good time, you know? He was just doing his best.
He wanted to solve a crime, like, just like old times.
So we know how that Fred came through. We know that Shambling Boy is in the maze, but he stays in the maze, mostly, as far as we're concerned. I don't know if he ever does actually discover that there is no other...
Well, like, okay. We know Alt stays in the maze for psychological reasons, like, Alt prefers in there. But I feel like Shambling Horror Boy needs to return to Suburbia, or he will literally die.
So he's like, I need to find a nice place with a nice lawn that I can constantly take care of and it'll constantly go to shit.
Yep. He needs to find a Starbucks. He needs to be a member of the PTA. It doesn't matter that he doesn't have kids. He's gonna be part of the PTA, damn it.
I like the idea that he does just like he's part of the PTA even if he has no children.
Nobody is quite sure why he's there, but he helps organize all the bake sales, and nobody wants to do that, so they're happy he's there. And here's the thing, if Shambling Horror Boy has to return to his natural habitat of suburbia, he's dragging Tyrfing with him.
Oh yeah, you know? Tyrfing is going to be so upset the whole time.
But at the same time, the whole point is Shambling Horror Boy has convinced him that Jazzercise is a little bit like combat.
I'm just imagining, like, in the PTA meeting, it's just like, damn it, Karen!
Just a 7-foot tall armored man.
Free!
Oh god! And
I will tear you apart in the fields of baking.
No, I just suddenly realized something. Okay.
Yeah.
Shambling Horror doesn't have a kid, but you know who has thousands upon thousands of children? Tyrfing. Let's send the fucking worms with human faces to elementary school.
That's how they all get education.
So that Tyrfing can scream at people about their fucking, like, gluten-free muffins.
Somewhere out there, Paladin is like, I'm pretty sure I had more worms.
And the whole time, Nidhogg is just losing its shit. Like, Nidhogg is just like, no. There are wigglers inside the echidna. Like, I've gotten them in there, but none of them are corrupt. Why? All Nidhogg wants is to corrupt the echidna from the inside, and all of the little babies are just fine.
It's not my problem that they're delicious.
Okay, the fact that the closer canonically eating Tyrfing's children is the funniest fucking thing. Because, like, the fact that she's from a universe where she is, like, the laws of physics require her to be addicted to fruit.
Yeah.
And the babies are technically fruit. Like, even if they're not corrupt, even if they're not, like, little Lamia babies, Sushi Nickos, Chonkers, whatever you want to call them, tree babs.
Yeah.
Like, they're still fruit. Like, Tyrfing only has Nidhogg spawn. It's just none of the, like, they look corrupt, right? Like, they've got the markings and etc., but they can't infect anybody. And that's what's pissing Nidhogg off. But yeah, Tyrfing has to protect all of his babies from the closer, which is bizarre.
Apex predator.
The closer is extremely good at what she does, and what she does is not very nice.
What she does is, eat children.
She sends you to customer service hell, and then also sends your widow a nice fruit basket. Also, the fruit basket is babies.
Anyway,
so we have Shambling Horror Boy and Tyrfing. Like, they're not necessarily dating. Like, it's not necessarily a romance thing, but that's why Shambling Horror Boy is allowed into the PTA meetings. Because, like, the other parents assume they must be. And they're trying not to be, bigoted.
Yeah,
so.
We can't be homophobic in our suburbia.
Like, the whole point is, like, when... Like, in the period between 1972 and 2020, 2021, whatever it ends up being, like, the timeline is fucked. Like, Wanda has pure omniscience during that time period and doesn't know anything past the apocalypse. Like, the apocalypse does eventually end, because everything ends eventually, and the timeline just heals itself. Like, everybody remembers being tortured, but also... It's fine. We're just gonna ignore it. Let's just move on. But the whole point is... So the whole point is the period between 1972 and 2022. We'll just call 2022. That seems like a nice round number. God, that's a lot of time, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
That's like, what, 50 years?
Yeah, you don't realize it, but it's still like 50 years.
Yeah. So, like, for a canonical half-century between fucking the timeline up repeatedly, mostly for a joke... No, nobody bats an eye that a 7-foot-tall Viking with thousands of worm babies has moved into suburbia.
They're just like, yeah, sure.
I mean, they think it's weird, but they think it's weird the way you would think it's weird if a gay couple moved in the like it's not too weird, but you're definitely gossiping behind closed doors about it. You know, like, and I feel like that's what Shambling Horror Boy is comfortable around. He wants people to be mildly unsettled by him, but in a very suburban way.
Yeah, he's like, oh, they're gossiping. I'm popular.
Well, and again, like the whole reason, like, yes, he wants to go back to his natural environment of Starbucks and Jazzercise, but he's also looking for his other self. Like, I don't think he would know instantly that there is no other version of him, you know? He just has to, like, that's what you do. If you're a shambling horror, you go and you kill and or replace the other version of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you do, so that's what he's going to do. It's like a salmon trying to spawn. We were talking about how Lost Pass is definitely important.
Yeah, Lost Pass.
Specifically because, like, anything that makes, like, lines less confusing, like, Wanda is not living that life.
Yeah.
Like, Wanda wants everything to be a big jumbled mess where you can't see more than 5 feet in front of you forever.
The maze! The maze!
Like, that's canonically why the CEO of Vaedal Games was all like, you can't have an open floor plan. How are you going to get lost in that? It doesn't make sense. So, what I want to know is, we've got Alt, right?
Yeah.
She's sitting there. She's in the maze forever. Like, time doesn't pass. So, like, yes, the apocalypse canonically ends, but if you're in the maze, that doesn't
mean anything.
Yeah. Like, they can be released. Like, I'm sure Flower Chick would go find everybody she shoved into the maze to save them from the apocalypse.
It's like, alright, otters, I'm sorry, there's so many of you, wow.
Oh, God, I can't wait to work in my auditor reference. Did I still have a note somewhere? Whatever. We'll do it when we do it. But yes, the whole point is the maze is forever, but the whole point is Alt is terrified of losing anyone, right?
Yeah. I mean, like after the third time, you're kind of like, alright.
Like, people just keep dying on her en masse. Nobody can die inside the maze. You know, it's good. But people start leaving. So honestly, I think that just explains everything.
I think this pretty much puts everything into...
Yeah, like, the entire plot is right there. Like, we've recorded ourselves both brainstorming... I mean, I guess
not the entire plot, but, you know, like, the important stuff at the very least.
Yeah, like, it can't end, so... Mm-hmm. But, like, I think that's a good crash course. Like, I feel like all the people who haven't yet experienced Sampanyo, they now understand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
any closing words, son? This is, like, considering it's your video now. Oh.
So, in the future, look forward to more ARGs, more puzzles. They do tie into For Ragnarok, as I mentioned earlier. It's up to you to decide how that works. Rip to all the Dart code, and hopefully it doesn't rot too quickly.
Hooray for minimal rot!
I really do hope Wiggler Sim doesn't die too quickly.
I hope it does as fast as possible.
Anyway, happy 2022.
Yeah, man.
What is it, year 5, 6?
I'm pretty sure either 5 or 6. I think 5 was last year, and then 6 is this year.
Yeah. We did it.
Well, the only thing that we have over those years is that I have a Pop-Tart right now.
I have a Nestle Crunch Bar.
And strawberry. I'm gonna press the stop recording button now.